How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the James Loud Podcast. This episode is live. This is our very first live episode. This is our producer, Ryan. This is the guy behind the camera that makes me look as good as I look and does a really good job with the podcast. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We got a really fun episode today. We're going to be giving away a lot of cool stuff. We're going to be giving away a book, seed packs, all kinds of fun stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, happy to be here. You may know me as Gears and Grit. I produce the show, I edit it, hop in the chat with you guys. It's always fun to interact and see this community. So I'm glad we finally get to bring a live episode to everyone. Get in the holiday spirit with my tacos, ugly sweater. So
yeah, at the end of the show, we're giving away this Santa hat with the James Loud logo on it.
Ooh.
So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my book that's coming out. We have pre-sale available on the website. That's jamesloudgenetics.com. And it's a breeding book. There hasn't been a breeding book in the last 25 years written. Greg Green wrote the last one on breeding. And it's been a long project. It's been about 5 years of work. And I've written the book 5 times in 5 years, rewritten the book and done all these different versions. And, the last version started in February. I rewrote it from scratch, but incorporated some of the stuff that we'd used earlier. But I feel like we're at a time where there's never been such a demand for higher quality cannabis, and there's actually a low supply of the really high quality stuff. So I feel like the book is a great way to understand genetics. It all starts with genetics. That's the one key component. If you don't start with good genetics, you're not going to have a good product. And so the book is very much like a college level textbook, but it breaks it down, and there's something for everybody. So I feel like whether you're new to breeding or new to genetics, and or even new to cannabis, there's something for you. But it's also designed for people that are on a high level that want to understand specific things about breeding at scale, reversals, feminized breeding, stuff like that. So it's really exciting. I'm super excited and enthusiastic and can't wait till you guys get to see it. We are hoping to ship before the end of the year now. It's got bumped back a little bit, but we just finished the layout. So this is the printed version. I should have a copy of the book in my hand soon, but we got some fun stuff. Yeah, and this is on 8.5 by 11. It's actually a 6 by 9 book, but you can go in 3. It's 6 parts. And there's actually stuff on IP, tissue culture, and some wild, fun stuff. So, anatomy of the plant. I had a really good time writing it. And the thing is it wasn't just about me. The book is so much bigger than just me or myself. I tried to take the ego out of it when we were writing the book. And I got contributing writers from all over. Reggie Gaudino wrote the foreword, also reviewed it. Guys like Mojave Richmond, I don't know if you guys know him, but Mojave Richmond is amazing. We did a podcast maybe 3 years ago on Sour Diesel, but Mojave, he works with Rob Clark, and they have a company in Southern California, and they do amazing stuff, and I'm blessed to have so many people that contributed. Dale Hunt did the tissue culture chapter, and we had Matt Schneider from Apical Biotech. He wrote the tissue culture. Dale Hunt wrote the IP chapter, and we just had so much contribution. Jake from Romulan Genetics, big shout out to Jake. He provided pictures, some real amazing photographs. Greenhouse provided photographs. Khalifa Genetics, I don't know, you guys might know Khalifa. He does amazing work. Aladdin from Khalifa. So the book is much bigger than me or myself. It really is about the plant and bringing the plant out into the open and putting all the information on breeding strategies and everything else in one place to where people can expand on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who would you say the book is kind of aimed at? Do you think you have to have institutional knowledge to read it, or do you think a novice could pick it up and understand it?
I think a novice could pick it up and get benefit from it, but I really think the book is geared towards people that can cultivate, because I really feel like if you want to breed, you need to learn how to grow first. That's the best thing. Because I talk about it on the show, we want the plant to express. Right. And if you can't grow well enough to make the plant express, you're not going to get the benefits of breeding to where you can tell the plants apart. You can make
Right.
seeds. You can make seeds. Maybe you make money off your seeds, but the real deal is you need to learn how to grow good so that you can make the plant express. But even before that, if you don't have good genetics to make the plant,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you're
just-
starting on a foundation of sand or something, you know.
yeah, and so there's all these key components, and I go over it a lot in my book. You guys hear about it on the podcast as well. So I guess let's do our first trivia question. Are you guys ready for some trivia?
I mean, we already got 111 people watching. Like,
Wow.
you know, when we tell you we're going to give away stuff, you guys tune in. Like,
Yeah, this is
awesome.
great. So yeah, we're giving away a book at the end, and we're also giving away the Santa hat. But we are going to start off with a pack of Feel the Rainbow. It's a 5-pack. Feel the Rainbow. This is a RS11 from Tissue Culture times ZBX, and ZBX is a Skittles backcross with Gelato 41. If you guys haven't checked out our packs, we have nice little vials right here. You get the pack. It's got soft skin on it. It has a QR code. Everything that we do has QR codes, and that serves a purpose. Besides you just being able to do that, we're able to share information. The beauty of QR codes is you can share information. As we update information, we can change it. They're
Right.
dynamic QR codes, and it's just
It's awesome.
It's a beautiful world. Sometimes it's a little scary with all this technology, but like the possibilities of technology is just amazing.
yeah.
Okay, Ryan. So what's our first trivia question?
Oh, I get to do the trivia question?
I'm going to let you do the trivia
Oh, boy.
question. Yep.
Okay. My first trivia question here, folks. All right. Let's start off with what I think is an easy one. Well, hold on. Why don't we shout out chat a little bit before we give a giveaway? Because, I mean, we got a lot of people in here. We got Chad. Everybody knows Chad. We got J5. We got Dog Knight. We got David Maxwell, Sungrown Farmer, Pip Jam. I mean, you know, it's great that you guys come out every weekend, chat with us. I only mentioned the ones that are on the screen right now, so sorry. I'm sure there's a lot more. We're going to try to shout out everybody, but
And Chad has been with me since day number one, man. Future Cannabis Project. I did 42 episodes there, and we are almost at 40 episodes on the James Loud podcast.
32, yeah.
Yeah,
This is
I mean,
32.
32.
But yeah, it's incredible that we've it's gone by in a flash somehow, and it
Yeah.
only gets better. So let's start with the first trivia question. You know, let's chat settle. Here comes the question. In what year did Colorado and Washington become the first U.S. states to legalize recreational cannabis? In what year did Colorado
Same
and
year,
Washington,
guys.
the same year, did Colorado and Washington become the first U.S. states to legalize recreational cannabis?
I'll give you a hint. It was 2000 and something.
It wasn't when California did it.
Right. Well, that was for medical.
Right. So that's why the recreational is
Yeah,
is
recreational.
Key here. Recreational is key. Ooh, it looks
14,
like Bud E Kilowatt. No,
Nope.
that's
It
wrong.
wasn't. That's wrong. Those are wrong.
Sorry, my bad, guys.
It's
Oh,
gonna
Dog
be-
Night. Dog Night got it.
I haven't seen. Oh,
2012.
was it 2012? I thought it was 2012.
2012.
2012.
So Dog Night. Congrats.
Yeah. 2013 was the first cannabis cup, legal cannabis cup, and that was held in Colorado. Good times. That was one of the most amazing events that I took part in. We had 2 booths at that event.
That was the Cannabis Cup.
Yeah, that was the Cannabis Cup in Denver. Holy Water, that was their first year before. You know, it's funny because Holy Water evolved. That was the origin of
Right.
all this. You know, we have these pens now that smoke with lots of terps. They didn't even know how to judge Holy Water at the event, and it was basically the origin of sauce came from Holy Water. That at least that I had seen it. And those guys did some amazing stuff. They've kind of went their separate ways as a group, but really good stuff.
Yeah. Also, you guys can ask questions for the stream. You know, we're here just to kind of like hang out and have a good time. You know, also want to say happy holidays to everybody, whatever you celebrate, because I know we got like a lot of things to celebrate these days. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting to be part of this community. So
Yeah.
feel free to throw in questions in the chat, and we'll try to answer them on the stream.
Yeah. And then we'll give away some more fun stuff.
And then we'll give away more fun stuff.
Well, you know what? In the meantime, while we're waiting for some questions, I'm going to show you some of the releases we've got coming.
Nice. Sneak preview?
Yeah, you guys get to see this case right
Dude, that
here.
case
And
is
hidden
so
in this
badass.
case, We're going to move this out of the way. But hidden in this case are cassettes.
That's such a cool packaging.
Right? And this is my collaboration with Adam Dunn.
Is that a real cassette holder?
It is a real cassette holder, flashback from the 80s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got...
People got their business papers, but that's
Oh, yeah. And so in each
cassette
one of
holder.
these, we have seeds hidden. This is actually a double-sided case. Anyone wants to order all the seeds, you get the case with it. But
They're just willing to sell it out.
But yeah, so right here, just so you guys can see how it goes. When you open it up, we've got the seed packs inside. Boom.
Did Adam design this?
Adam is a creative genius. If you don't know Adam Dunn, this is our Dunn Loud collaboration. It's called Rage Against the Machine. It's a bunch of, sorry, it's not called Rage. It's Sage Against the Machine.
Sage Against the Machine.
And it's a bunch of sage and sour crosses that I made. And Adam, Adam is very good at marketing and also curating. So together we got this collaboration. And this is actually the second rendition. The first was for the first album. As you guys recognize the cover with Adam's face on them.
Yeah, it's
but
so
this
cool.
this was a 3-seed release, and this is actually a 5-seed release. And yeah, so a lot of fun.
When did the
Adam's
original one come out?
The original one came out in 2019.
Okay.
So this is our, we're probably going to do a third one, and
Yeah.
maybe a fourth one. We'll
That's
see.
cool.
Profits of Sage. That's so yeah. So I guess since I've shown you these guys, let's talk about our the strains. So Revolver that's coming out is LA Antidote times Sage and Sour. Really cool. LA Antidote is from my good friend Ray over at FC Genetics, First Class Genetics out of LA. He bred that one. It's actually a high CBD strain. It's high CBD and gas. The second one is Snake Charmer. Snake Charmer is Swayze from Duke Diamond times Sage and Sour. And Swayze is like this long stretching OG, which I really like. I think it's a fun one if you got room to grow tall plants. And also these seeds come out and they will stretch like you wouldn't believe. Next one is Junior Mints times Sage and Sour. That's pots. And yeah, so that's a good one. You get some cookie in there. Junior Mints is cookie-ish. Roll Right, which I love the name Roll Right because it has multiple meanings. And Roll Right is Ghost OG times Josh DOG times Sage and Sour. So the Sage and Sour already got some gas and OG in it for sure. And so we're just throwing OG, getting it extra gassy, hopefully tightening up that bud structure from the Sage and Sour because a lot of those are loose and stretchy. You were talking about, the flower as far as foxtailing, you're going to get a lot of stuff that foxtails, but the second you put some OG on there, it'll tighten up that structure. You'll get some of that Afghanica in there, and it'll be amazing.
Nice.
So, yeah. The last one, Bulls on Parade. Great song. Everyone loves that
Go
song.
with it now.
Yeah, that's a good one. And so that has the Eskush, the Skush from Duke Diamond, and that's another amazing one. So look forward to seeing you guys purchase these next week. They'll be available, and we have a limited quantity of each. So as soon as they're gone, they're gone. And we still have some of the original 3 releases, and we'll be having those available. I think we only have like 10 packs of each. So that one should be a lot of fun.
We do have some questions from the chat if you're ready for one here.
Okay, let's go with some questions. What do we got?
Okay. Hickey, Sand Racing, and Dab asked what your favorite light is.
My favorite light is the sun.
I mean, it comes out every day.
But and you know what? I think a lot of us can agree that the sun is the best light. But as far as like using indoor, I think there's a lot of good LEDs with the Samsung chip that work great. I'm not going to specify any one company, but I think there's a lot of good lighting companies. EST Tech, we'll throw them out. I like their lights. They're good people too. But yeah, there's a lot of good, it's funny because there's a lot of good controversy in the in the social media world
Yeah.
about lights and guys fighting and arguing.
Right.
You know, we got the Foch and we got the Mango Tech, you know, these guys going back and forth and whatever. And I really like Miami Mango. He's been on the show. He's got some good stuff. And
yeah, I didn't get to see that their showroom, but I imagine it's wild from the way you guys described it.
yeah, Mango, he's a character, man, and his build out is nuts. So if you haven't seen his build out, it's next level. Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like it.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. We got one more. The question is, I don't know how you want to take this, but why are there so many gelato crosses, and what qualities are you selecting for? Asked by Easy to Slip.
Well, so in general, if we're talking about why there's so many gelato crosses, I think gelato is extremely popular these days. And the thing is there's a lot of phenotypical variation between all the gelato phenotypes. So there's so much variation. In fact, like gelato 33, if you make the S1s and you pop them, you get 10 different expressions. Whereas like the 41 is a little more stable and you get some more stuff. But also gelato was so popular, you know, whether it was the 33, the 41, the 45, they even had the 23 back in the day, and the 47 maybe. Don't quote me on that, but all these gelatos were very popular because they're candy gas, and you know we moved from cookies into, you know, I guess we could even go back further. We went from the 80s where there was a ton of diversity, and then we started getting excited about OGs and sour and Chem 91, and that was like late 90s, and moved on that, and that really kind of held its place. Like LA especially, OG was pretty dominant through the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s especially. You know, OG was synonymous with Los Angeles and a lot of other places as well. But as we got into cookies in around 2010, 2011, you know, San Francisco, that started moving all over too. And then Sherbet came out. Sherbet never got its day. Sunset Sherbet was an amazing strain. I still love it. And a lot of things people like about gelato are actually in that Sunset Sherb. But Sherb came out and hit the market by storm. Everybody wanted dessert strains. And so the world got pushed towards dessert strains.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, everybody's crossing everything with these dessert strains. And lo and behold, actually what people are doing is breeding out the diversity a lot of times, unfortunately. And it's real interesting.
Well, it's like a trend too, right?
Yeah,
Everybody's chasing the trend.
Well, and Skittles also hit. In 2014, Skittles hit, and then everyone's like, Skittles. And I love Skittles.
Right.
Skittles is amazing. You know, we got Shiloh coming on in a couple weeks talking about Skittles. And I like the diversity. I like everything. I'm not set on one thing, but I do like smoking candy. I do like smoking stuff that tastes like candy because it's kind of strange. You don't get cigars that taste like candy yet.
Right. That segues into another good question here.
Sure.
What do you think is like the best daytime strain to like get shit done? It's a two-parter.
Yeah.
And then what is the raciest thing you've ever smoked?
The raciest thing I've ever smoked. Well, let's start with that. It's probably some Durban. But as far as like my you know, Durban poison, some of these African, also Colombian, African and Colombian genetics are the ones that are the most racy, I think, in my opinion, that have kicked my ass the most. And also on podcasts, I've done it a couple times. I think I've smoked some Durban, I've smoked some Red Congolese, and then I did the one that you guys get to see in a couple weeks where I smoked some Oaxacan mixed with some Piff and some Cuban Black Haze, and that got me and Shiloh good. We were pretty done. But what I recommend if you need to get shit done, you know, Blue Dream for a lot of people, it doesn't do a lot, but if you're trying to be productive, it's a good one. I wouldn't say it's for everybody. And the thing is all these things are so subjective to the individual. So what works for me may not work for you.
Right.
And sometimes people are just the opposite. They want a good sedative genetic to wake them up. But typically, if you have access to some Piff, if you have some Cuban Black Haze, those things are great. As long as you like racy. But then the other thing is like maybe you don't need a huge joint of it. Maybe you need one hit.
Just kind of get the body going.
Yeah,
get your mind relaxed.
I mean, Jeanette, my wife, she'll smoke like one hit of something, and that's what she does for her motivation. Whereas I'll smoke a joint. I'll smoke a joint, a half a joint, or whatever.
Right.
And I like different stuff depending on the time of day and my feeling. And I feel like my gut knows best. And so whatever I'm thinking, oh, I want to smoke that because I get a lot of options.
Right.
So as far as I probably have 50 different options of things I could smoke. But a lot of times what I smoke is whatever the best shit is what I'll smoke at any given time.
Totally.
Until that's gone. And then I'll probably smoke the second best thing. And unfortunately.
I know the habit to just stick to what's good and then rerun that as long as you can. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many. Well, so some people like, I mean, I have pretty good access to amazing stuff. And so I'm always trying amazing stuff and I'm always looking for different stuff. And for me, it's all about the experience. So yeah, so sometimes if I'm going to go do something active, I'm going to smoke something more sativa that's more racy. And I might not smoke as much of it depending on what I'm doing, or I might smoke even more of it. But if I'm going to the movies, I might want something that's kind of sedative that'll get me to relax and not want to look at my phone or not want to do business.
Right.
And then in OG is one of those things. So like OG, sour diesel, I can tell you those things. I can smoke them in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Doesn't matter what I'm doing, and I enjoy the effect. So yeah, that's me anyway.
That's great. Yeah, and I think the important thing to take away is like, yeah, it's so personalized. Because for one person it could be a upper, for another person it's a downer, like whatever it is. So.
Well, yeah, and our body chemistries are so unique and different. What works for one person may not work for the next person, and it also may be the polar opposite. And that's why doctors also have such a hard time prescribing cannabis, because our body chemistries are so different and we don't know enough about it. And to say you need 5 milligrams of this or 5 milligrams of that, doctors aren't going to be able to make an educated decision on exactly what you need a lot of times. So then they say and a lot of them aren't educated enough to know that cannabis is the one.
Trial and error. Yeah. Like I know for me, caffeine will put me to sleep. Yeah. Just the way it is.
And for me, caffeine and cannabis together. So that's another one. Like you want to do some stuff. I need caffeine. If I smoke a lot, I need caffeine to balance it out a lot of times. So I'm not tired.
Right.
And it's the perfect balance. It's what, that's or cold plunge. That's another thing. Cold plunge and cannabis is great.
What's the record? We made it 26 minutes in without talking about cold plunge. So
wow.
It's a record. All right. I got another question from J5. He thinks I didn't see him, but I see you. What can you tell him about the BLCs? Thinking about running in-house in my... It trails off there, but...
DLCs, double lemon cherry.
Okay.
So that basically is like a Runts S1 so lemon cherry gelato S1. Anything that's like that is gonna, depending on the process, but with that you're imparting a lot of that candy, floral, purple. Hopefully, that was the intention with it, was to get some stuff that breeds really purple. Also candy. If you want that candy floral, I love floral weed. There's just something about smoking floral stuff that excites me. And also breeding floral stuff. I mean, GDP was floral back in the day. That was our floral go-to. We had some Mendo Perps that was kind of floral, but that GDP had like a floral gas that was like lavender.
Oh, sorry. He meant blueberry lemon cherry.
Blueberry lemon cherry,
He's thinking about running it in his greenhouse in Michigan.
Nice.
So I don't know if that's a different answer.
That's okay. So, but yeah, blueberry lemon. Yeah, dude. All these... Yeah, so if you're going for that, I made 300 outcrosses last year. We're slowly getting to them on our page, but yeah, I think that'll do great in a greenhouse. It doesn't have the tightest bud structure, so if you're worried about PM, that's the other thing. If you're trying to grow something that is got a nested bud structure, you're probably not going to want to grow that in anywhere that has a lot of humidity. You're going to want to grow something with a little more open bud structure. It doesn't have to be a all-out sour diesel that has foxtails. You can grow something in the middle, that has an open bud structure that's not completely nested, because what happens is those bracts get nested, they trap in moisture, and then you get things like botrytis. They're more susceptible to powdery mildew too. But yeah, I think that's a good cross, and you'll enjoy it in your greenhouse.
Awesome. Shout out. We got 162 people online.
Wow. Thanks, guys. So we need to give we got to do some giveaways.
Let's do another giveaway.
So I guess, let's see. Should we give away one of these Done Loud we are going to give away one of the seed packs and the cassettes.
Nice.
So let's get a question going for that.
Okay. I imagine they have to live in the U.S. Is that?
Has to live in the U.S. You
Okay.
got to be living in the U.S. And what was the other one? Oh, a fan of the James Loud podcast.
And obviously subscribed.
Yeah,
And
so-
have liked the episode because, I mean, what are we here for? If we're
Right.
If
But
we're not
yeah,
getting likes and subscribes.
we will be working on our shipping next year, hopefully to do international. We're talking to a couple different groups so that we can do international shipping. The book will be available in 2024 international, but we are not there yet. And we apologize, and we will make it up by doing another live podcast. So
Nice. I guess we're on the hook for another one then. So-
right.
All right.
Darn.
Here's our question that we're going to go with. And you have to be 21 or older and live in the U.S.
Yeah.
So please don't answer if you don't meet those requirements because you're just going to be disappointed. So, all right. Which country was the first in the world to legalize cannabis for recreational use? Do you know this one, James, off your head? Without saying it out loud?
I do.
Okay, great. Which country was the first in the world to legalize cannabis for recreational use? And the chat goes wild.
Let's do this, guys.
Ooh, I think
We got a winner yet?
we got a winner. Let me make sure nobody else said it. Yeah, Zorro.
Zorro,
PB.
congratulations. Yep.
Uruguay. Yeah, was the answer.
That is
Uruguay.
true. And that was in
Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Uruguay. I guess I could have asked what the year was, but
What
we
was
just went
the
for the
year, Ryan?
country. 2013. So right after.
Yep. Okay, cool. So you're going to win one of the Done Loud collaborations. Thank you very much. You know, I think we're just going to have to jump into another trivia question real
We're doing
quick.
back-to-back?
We're going back to back. And so this one is for a Black Gelato Auto prize bundle. You'll get some other stuff with the Black Gelato Auto.
Nice.
What do you guys think? You guys ready for another question?
Okay, we're going back-to-back trivia. Everybody's congratulating Zorro. He's having his moment in the sun. He's feeling great. He's got his
Awesome.
cassette tape. Hope you got like a boombox or something to plug that into. It would be sick if you actually included like a tape of you, like, you know,
Yeah.
saying like the instructions or something, or just rapping, you know.
Yeah, my own track.
Yeah, that's right. Hot tracks on tape. All right, we're gonna do another giveaway here. This is kind of interesting, and this one might be a little technical, so go ahead and hang with me here. How many chromosomes do cannabis plants typically have? We're looking for the number of chromosomes. How many chromosomes do cannabis plants typically have?
Get your chat GPTs out. That's-
Furiously Googling and asking ChatGPT.
yep.
I see you've, what are you smoking on over there?
We're smoking on some cantaloupes from SF Canna. It's a collaboration we got going.
Nice.
It's good stuff. It's extremely tasty. It tastes like perfume. It's like literally, it tastes like perfume. It's the closest thing I've ever smoked that tastes like perfume. Dracar Noir. That's
I think I'm seeing 66 sick productions as the winners. The answer is 20.
Yeah.
They have 20 chromosomes, which is
10
10
pairs.
pairs.
Yep.
Right. To just so you know, humans have 46,
yep.
23 pairs.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why we vibe with the plant so hard, you know.
Yeah.
Is it a refire? It is a refire.
It is. It's always a refire.
It's always a refire.
The refires taste. If the refires taste good, you know you're winning.
That's right.
So, and that's one of my things. So we talk about pheno hunting. I'll go into it a little bit, but when I like sharing weed that I've grown when we're testing new varieties, I like giving out joints. I feel like giving out joints puts everybody on an even playing field, and when you get feedback from a similar type scenario. And when you can do that, you're going to win, because a lot of people, they smoke bong rips or they smoke pipes or however they smoke it. But if you give everybody the same thing, you're going to get the same kind of feedback. So when you relit it, what did it taste like? And the two most important things, I mean, on the broader scale, you know, there's a lot of questions that you want to answer with it. But what does it make you feel like, and what does it taste like? Those two things, if you can answer those, you're winning. I mean, I know what the flower looks like. So for pheno hunting, as you breeders out there, you know what the good flower looks like. You know what that good structure looks like. What you need is feedback on how does it make you feel and how does it make you taste from other people to get their perspective. Because you're going to know how you feel, but because our bodies are so different, it's really interesting getting the perspective from other people like, okay, well, this made me feel like this, or this made me pass out, or I don't ever want to smoke that again and it tasted terrible.
Right.
You know, those things are all great. And again, it's subjective.
Totally. Yeah, congrats in the chat. A lot of winners so far. A lot of great guesses. So I'm loving seeing the engagement here. We're at 172 people. So shout out to everybody joining us on this Sunday morning.
When we get to 200, we might just have to give away a book.
Okay. Call your friends. Call your mom. Tell her to get on YouTube because we want to give away a book.
Yeah.
We want to hit that 200
We're giving away
mark.
a book no matter what, but we want to give away a book when it hits 200. And if it doesn't get 200, whatever.
Yeah. I also want to shout out James Loud Podcast Clips. It's our boy Brandon. He's always crushing it. He's a behind the scenes guy, but he's always there every Sunday, providing us with all the levity and
he's there 7 days a week.
brilliantness.
You guys just don't know it. If you go on the website, that's Brandon. He's the website guy.
Right.
He's the web designer. He's the guy who protects our website when you guys try to hack us. You can't get in. You know, he's a great guy, and he comes in. He hangs out once a month with us usually, and we smoke a bunch of herb. And he's just a great guy. He's a good guy to have on the team. He's a guy. You know, it's like we have a group. We have a really amazing group of people. We have besides Ryan and Brandon, we have a bunch of other people like Ben, who does photography. And it's great when you have guys that have your back. Mason, we got Mason. Big shout out to Mason. He does graphic design with us and does a great job. And
Eric.
We got Eric, my partner Eric, he's the idea generator, and he does logistics and planning and organization. And without him, we wouldn't have the James Loud logo. This thing that's on my hat, that was him. That was Eric's design.
Yeah.
And so he really, and he's a contrast. So with me, he's a great contrast because he's different than me in a lot of regards. Just for example, I like to make snap decisions on stuff, and he likes to chew on ideas and thoroughly think about stuff. And I'm more of like, I have the chef mentality where it's like, okay, how does it feel in my gut? Boom, let's make that decision and let's do it. And so it's great having a team of people that have your back for one thing, but also specialize in what they do best. So Ryan, he's a producer, but he's also great with all this other stuff and even concepts for the show. Ryan comes up with some amazing concepts.
Thank you, sir.
It's just so much bigger than one person. And I'm in the camera or in the eye of the camera, and you guys get to see me. But like, there's so many people behind the scenes that make this happen.
Even our spouses.
Spouses, my wife packs my lunch, that kind of stuff.
She reviews the episode.
She reviews the episodes.
editing.
She reviewed the book. There's a lot of people that put in a lot of hard work, to get me where I'm at.
It takes a village.
It does. It takes a tribe.
For sure.
Yep.
So this is like a time of year to give thanks. So I'm glad we got to do that on camera.
Totally. We're absolutely blessed to be here. I'm so blessed to be where I'm at. And if it wasn't for you guys watching the podcast, we wouldn't even have a podcast.
That's for sure.
So it's a lot of trial and error. And I think we got something that's pretty special.
I did want to mention anybody who won chat today or won trivia today, you got to email podcast@jamesloudgenetics.com. I know Mr. Clips always drops it, but just a reminder, because if you don't email us, we don't know how to get a hold of you. So go ahead and drop that in the chat or email us at podcast@jamesloudgenetics.com so we can get your info. If we can, I wanted to kind of segue back to a question about your book.
Yes.
Is there what's kind of like, what do you feel sets this book apart from the previous books? I know it's been a long time since a genetics book has come out. Like 20 years, I think you said?
Yeah, 25 years.
25 years since
Greg Green wrote the Cannabis Breeder's Bible 25 years ago, and for its time, it was a great book. I feel like there's a lot of updating. As far as principles, he has a lot of good principles in there. I feel like mine is a little more textbook, college level textbook. There's great photos in there too, but like we dive into pretty much everything on breeding. I really wanted to get the thing is there's all the information I have in the book. It's out there. You don't have to buy the book necessarily. You can go through all the information on the internet if you wanted to. But I put all that information all in one book, and it's a great resource. I feel like Oaksterdam, we're going to be doing a class with Oaksterdam next year. You're hearing it first on the show. I haven't even announced it anywhere else, or they haven't announced
Shout
it.
out to Oaksterdam.
But yeah, we had Dale Sky come on the podcast. She'll be featured in January. Amazing podcast. I really look forward to working with them, and maybe you guys will be interested in signing up for the class.
Yeah.
But the book, it really dives into everything on breeding. I don't hold any secrets back. It's pretty much everything that I do. And, in some regards, it's so we as boutique growers and craft farmers and guys that want to get into breeding can stand up against the big guys. Because, I feel like having that information, most of these big companies, they're going to know this information that's in the book.
Right.
Most of them, or they hire somebody that knows this and they hire somebody that knows that, and they can put it together. But it's great having the information for the little guys. I still consider myself one of the little guys. I'm a big guy, but a little guy, And so, this book is for everybody. And, the demand for quality products is just so high, but you don't see it everywhere. And I think I'm blessed to be able to smoke really good weed every day, but you look at the dispensaries and there's not a lot of great stuff in the dispensaries on the level of the home grow, on the craft stuff, and it all starts with genetics.
Totally. I mean, we've got a lot of more engagement in chat. We're going to get some more questions here. Always High says, great name. I have some of your genetics and I'll be germinating them soon. So
awesome. Shout
out to Always High. Weedist 207 says, good Sunday, Gromies. Good Sunday.
Nice.
Let's see. Cake in a Cup. That's always a fun name to read. Laszlo Woodbine. Here's another great one I love. Al Telescope Uranus. That's that's just a good one.
Wow.
We got Mark Oxidine. I'm probably screwing up these names. I mean, a lot of people in here. I can't even shout out everybody. WMG, Trey 8 the Great, Trait the Great, Seat Sniffer. That's another good one.
Seed Sniffer.
Some of these people are really good. Hillbilly Herb, Herb. Shout out to everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're at 187. Got that 187. Yeah. All right, let's get to another question. When doing an open pollination for a seed increase, can you start the seeds 12 and 12 from germination, or should you let them germinate and grow a little first? That's asked by Vetro HTX.
Well, so that's it's like open pollinations are interesting. It's like I honestly am not a huge fan of open pollinations unless you're working with some land-raised genetics and doing a seed raise that way, or you have some super stable something or other, like autoflower line, and you had stable male and female expressions. But the thing with open pollination is you do get a ton of seeds, but you also get a ton of diversity. And if you're looking for diversity, that's great. But are you looking to sell the most diverse seeds out there because you're going to get a lot of bad stuff with the good stuff? But what was the original question on?
It says, when doing an open pollination for seed increase, can you start the seeds 12 and 12
So
from germination?
You can start the seeds 12 and 12 from germination if you want to, but I don't recommend it. I think if you have any sort of intersex traits, the thing is like there's this sexual maturity that goes on in the plant's life, and by flipping them too early, if it's a photo period, I mean, you have a chance of getting those expressions. If you're looking for that, if you want to weed out the ones that have any sort of intersex trait expression, like hermaphrodites.
Right.
I mean, I guess that's one way you could do it. I never even thought about it like that, but.
Cake in a Cup said that they want the audio book to be Chad Westport reading it as like a bedtime story. So.
Chad, what do you think?
Right. A lot of very gentle talking, like we're on NPR. Okay. Another question from Seat Sniffer.
Yeah.
How important are enzymes in the last couple weeks of flower?
Extremely important.
There you go. Extremely important. Another question asked by Laszlo, trying to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Quote unquote, gas lantern veg lighting cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on that?
What is it?
Gas lantern veg lighting cycle.
I'm not
12/1.
12/1. I don't know.
Sorry, we don't understand the question. Maybe we can get a re-ask on that one.
Yeah, maybe you can go into detail a little more. I'm not sure about
The gas lantern veg cycle.
no
Okay.
gaslighting.
Gaslight-
You know about gaslighting. Tell you, gaslighting's no good, man.
No.
Stay
Nobody
away
wants
from
to
the
be
gaslighters.
Nobody wants to be gaslit.
So you guys see this coffee? These coffee beans. I think if you look on most of the podcasts, they're hidden in the back. But we use these for actually preventing adaptation from your nose when you're smelling weed. Because we're in here smelling weed. Sometimes we might smell 20 different things, and it's great in between to have this jar of coffee.
Cleanse the
so that you
palate.
can cleanse the palate, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can wipe that palate clean, because otherwise everything starts smelling exactly the same. But I just love the smell of coffee. So besides that, I love the way coffee smells, just like I love extract and herb and
Right.
all that good stuff.
The next one is how do we make the movement? This was asked by Dog Night. How do we make the movement for our old school cultivars to make a comeback?
Man, I think the movement is already happening. The old school cultivars are coming back that aren't lost, because some of those are lost. We talk about the cat piss, but it's also just awareness and spreading the word. I mean, I think people are going to like what they're going to like, but sometimes you got to show them good versions of it for them to like it. If it's some shitty haze, they're not going to like it. But if you show them some sticky, ooey gooey haze that'll stick to your window, and then you go smoke it, but everything's so subjective to the individual. I think part of it is a lot of this candy stuff is so approachable to the beginner. They don't like the offensive stuff. They don't like the GMOs. They don't like the gas. Some of these OGs or some of these ones that are like borderline offensive to some people.
Right.
Those aren't like the newbie smokes. That's more of like the guys that are more mature. So it's a sign of the mature market when people are going for
Right.
more of the diverse stuff. And also, if Instagram kind of just ruined weed in some ways, in a interesting way, because you get to look at it, but you don't really get to see it. Other than on Instagram, you don't get to touch it, you don't get to smell it, you don't get to taste it or feel the effect. And those are some of the most important parts. So if we can go back to like forgetting about what it looks like and go into the other stuff, I mean, there's a good chance a lot of that stuff will come back, because there's a lot of good things about some of the old stuff. I mean, even blueberry, I can't wait for blueberry to make a comeback, but sour diesel is making a comeback. OG Kush is definitely making a comeback.
This one kind of segues too. It's from Mint Optimo.
Yep.
Is there a plan that you could add diversity into your lines in the future to prevent further problems in the pool?
Yeah, so the best way to introduce diversity, I mean, I think there's a lot of ways you can introduce diversity. I mean, a lot of people just cross stuff together and they're thinking they're getting diversity when they're not. But actually identifying, you can stabilize a line. So there's a lot of problems with this, but you can basically stabilize two lines, cross them together, or get a stable line and cross it with another stable line, stuff that has very minimal diversity, and you're going to get what's called heterosis, which is hybrid vigor, and that's what you're looking for, and that's the magic. But the problem is people are just mixing and mashing up everything, and so stabilizing stuff takes a lot of time. And the problem that I see is right now we're on a top 40s playlist. We're not looking for that
Right.
one
The
thing
breakout.
that's going to last for a lifetime. We're looking, and those things are there, but they're few and far between. Most people, if they have something that's popular now and then they want to stabilize that, because the thing is like you can have a cultivar that every time you take a clone of it, it's going to be the exact same thing. But stabilizing that in seed form takes years to do properly.
Right.
And then, taking that, if you do it, it may not be popular 2 or 3 years from now, and then crossing that
Right.
to something else to get diversity, to create new stuff. What you need to do is create a whole bunch of lines of your own that you can cross stuff together. I think there's a lot of good companies, and you don't fully have to stabilize it to increase diversity.
Yeah.
But you're also, by not stabilizing it, you're adding a lot more phenotypic variation,
Right.
or potential phenotypic variation, and but this is all fun. It's all fun, and it's all if you love doing it, you love doing it. In finding out like what you get from a breeding project can be the most amazing and exciting, or also the most depressing thing in the world. It's funny because it's like a lot of times we go in with this game plan, and you cross this with this, and you're going to get this in your head. And then when you cross those things together, because of recessive traits, because of unforeseen traits that all kinds of stuff.
Right.
There's like
And just nature,
yeah,
right?
and also sometimes you have problems with your growing cycle. And the thing is like that's why you need to grow it out multiple times. So
Right.
if you just grow it out one time from seed and go, okay, I found the winner. That doesn't cut it. Like
Right.
that honestly doesn't cut anymore. What you really have to do is grow out the plant big enough to take a clone, throw away the seed start, because you plan on using this in clonal generations for years to come.
Right.
So you get rid of that initial seed start, you grow it out from clone at least 3 times. Some of the stuff, even though it doesn't look great, you should probably grow it out again because you might have a winner. As these plants mature, they change, and so the expression changes over time. So what you get the first time is going to be different than the second time. And by the third time, it should have stabilized, and you kind of can see what you're going to get for future clonal generations. But the plant really changes. But this is all fun.
So we just hit 200 viewers.
Oh,
So
wow, guys. Thank you
200.
guys for tuning in. So we are going to
200.
be giving away a book.
Let's give away a book.
Oof.
All right. Let me get a good trivia question here. Let's see what we got. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to tell you spelling counts.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you spelling counts, so it's got to be spelled correctly. What is the name of the famous hashish producing region in Morocco? Might be a little tough. Maybe you know it right off the bat.
Yeah.
But I want the spelling to be correct on this one. What is the name of the famous hashish producing region in Morocco? You ever been to Morocco?
Nope.
I want to go there someday.
Yeah, I do
It's
too.
been on my list.
So Ed Rosenthal's been trying to take me to Morocco for 15 years. Maybe.
Really? That's cool.
So he goes in February typically, I believe. But
It's like a little dangerous, but adventurous, you know?
well, if you just go, like you don't know anybody, that's not. I don't do that anywhere. I go because I know somebody that goes there or has
Right.
gone there, and they can tell me where to go. Like
That's
a place
cool.
like Morocco, I wouldn't just show up.
You'll just chance
Yeah,
it.
you're like, where's the mountains, man?
Right.
So have we got an answer yet? Correct answer?
We did. Sub 10 hit it right off the bat, but he just put riff. So,
It is spelled correctly.
but it's spelled correctly. Oh wait, no, hold on. Seat sniffer had it before it even.
Ooh, Seed Sniffer.
Seat sniffer.
So Seed
Riff
Sniffer wins a
Mountain.
book, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, sorry, Sub 10. I see seat sniffer right above yours there. Nice, congrats. You won a book. And we got
Yeah.
200 viewers. So I mean, this is just
Fantastic.
monumental.
Yeah.
The Riff Mountains is the answer. RIF.
Yeah.
RIFF is what Eddie Van Halen plays,
Right.
and that's not quite the correct answer.
It's not the same kind of riff.
Yeah, although RIP, he's not
Yeah.
playing him anymore.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
He's
Yeah,
playing him
for sure.
somewhere.
Yeah. So Morocco's not someplace you would want to just show up necessarily and look for weed. But same thing with like Trinidad. I wouldn't necessarily go fly into Trinidad and go look for the best weed you can find. I wouldn't say it's the safest, but you should, find people from that region, or, the beautiful thing with social media is you can meet all kinds of people. Just try to be safe.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I remember the Anthony Bourdain episode on Morocco. That's kind of what
Yeah.
made me most interested to go there. Although he talks about a lot of other drugs that took place there. So
Right.
awesome. Congrats. Thanks for everybody who guessed.
Yeah.
But we were looking for Riff Mountain, not Riff Valley. So that's, I don't know if there's a difference. But as far as the trivia I have, it said mountains. So I'm going to have to go with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we got another question here from the audience that I can hit you with. So there's more info on that gas lantern veg cycle. It's 12 hours on, 5.5 hours off, 1 hour on, 5.5 hours off, based on the idea that the plant needs 8 hours of solid darkness to induce flowering,
Sure.
used to save energy in the veg cycle. Do you have any thoughts on
Just
that?
shoot me in the head right now. That's
Who's gonna sit there with their watch like,
no,
oh.
no. But I mean, you could program it in your but I've never used it. It's an interesting theory. Do some R&D. Tell me what you got.
Yeah.
If it's great, I mean, I have yet to read about it, but I think it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
8 hours of solid darkness. I get it. As far as execution, I don't know. That seems like a lot of work, but also,
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's the beauty, I guess, of growing is the experimentation and
It is.
keeping notes on what you've tried
Right.
and making sure that, you're documenting what worked, what didn't work. And
unlocking the mystery. Sometimes that's the part
Yeah.
that we get excited the most about, especially finding new things.
well, it could be strain specific too, right? If
Yeah.
it's some require different, will be more,
I mean, my autoflowers respond. I'd give them 20 hours of light and 4 hours of darkness for my autoflowers indoors. So that's how I do my breeding. I get really big plants and really big results with those. We're talking like 45,000 seeds on average per 4x4.
right.
So
Awesome.
that was just a little tangent, but
What's your grow marrow or growermo? Growermo, shout out. What is your favorite nutrition?
my favorite nutrition. There's a lot of good stuff. I think the guys that do Living Soil, big shout out to Living Soil guys. You guys know I like Living Soil for smoke. But yeah, I mean, I like cutting edge. I like a product called United that you probably haven't heard about yet. That's really good. I like Frontline. I think there's a lot of good companies making nutrients these days. I'm somewhat Switzerland. I do a lot of seed production, and I don't flush. So with my seeds, I'm pumping newts all the way till the end. If I'm doing salts indoors, but yeah, as far as for smoke, I mean, all three of those companies that I mentioned, especially I like United. Big shout out to United. Make really, really good salt mixes and dry salt that you can mix, which I think is a better, more environmentally friendly product than getting these big jugs mixed of salts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Environmental concerns are always, I feel like, at the forefront of my mind. So
carbon footprint, I just think, it's salt's a little, and you're wasting money on water,
right,
that they're providing.
right. Nobody wants to buy jugs of
Yeah,
water.
at scale,
like that.
you're going to grow from salts. It's just
Yeah.
the way it goes. Or, these guys, I mean, Flora and Flame, big shout out to them too. They're doing, we had Chris Castle come on the show a while back. We need to get him on again.
Yeah.
But Living Soil Beds, crushing it. He's doing it at scale, 2-tier Living Soil.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
It's cool to see the pictures of it up and down like that.
Oh, yeah. And his herb has gotten so much better. I think they hit the market. So if you're in California, look for his product. It's out this week, the Flora and Flame
What did
flower.
he win? He won a competition here locally, right?
He's won some competitions. He won the second place in the King of the Hill or something like that. I can't remember
the details, but I know he was out there getting recognized for his work, which is amazing.
Super terpy, and it's just gotten better. So and that's the thing with Living Soil. I feel like as your soil ages, it improves as you use it more.
Nice.
Yeah.
Here's one. Here's one from I'm gonna just say Donkey Kongington.
That's great.
Where's the piff?
Where is the piff?
Where's the piff?
So I think Piff Coast Farms got piff, but yeah, I mean, I got a cut of the piff. We're doing some breeding with it. The thing I like about the piff is so as far as we talk about stimulants and sedatives, it's a stimulant, but it's not over the top. It doesn't get me super lit, gets me more lit than Skittles a lot of times, but it's not over the top crazy. And I don't get the increased heart rate from it, and then, probably increased blood pressure.
Yeah.
So I really like that piff a lot. And the flavor is great. It's one of those ones that if you grow it well, it's probably uglier than most people are used to, especially on the West Coast. But if you're okay with that open bud structure, it smokes great. It has a great effect. It's a win. Yeah, it's one of the things I really enjoyed. My friend Josh Freeman, his name is Silverback Growilla. In fact, he invented the Growilla nutrient line, and he also got Durban from BC, brought seeds down, and there's a long story with that. We'll get him on the show shortly.
Nice.
Really good stories.
We got a lot of fire emojis in the chat because Clips is always out there making everybody show us the love with the fire emojis.
Nice.
Always gets everybody going. Looks like I said. Looks like a concert in the chat. Everybody holding up their lighters. So this got the jam going. Here's a question by Claude. Who from the BC/Canadian breeders would you like to collab with, and which strains would you like from them? Which maybe is a little specific, but
there's some good ones. Gastown Fire, big shout out, Gastown Fire. Those guys are great. Dave, I'm familiar with Dave. There's a lot of Canadian guys, man. Big shout out to all the guys that are breeding in Canada and everywhere else in the world. But cold climates.
Yeah,
I do cold plunges. Stay away from the cold weather.
At least you could just put water out and it would be a cold plunge in the morning.
Frozen. Yeah.
Get a block of ice in the morning.
But no, I think there's always been good stuff coming out of Canada. You guys keep a lot of the good stuff for yourself, which I get.
Yeah.
Growing up, I remember there was an Orange Crush that came out of Canada. I don't know if you guys also remember that, but the Orange Crush was coming down from BC. And it was super terpy, even though we got footballs of it here that were like pounds that big. And a tenth of a gram it looked like a tenth of a gram, but it'd be a gram. Like people had to carry scales around to show people that it weighed what it weighed because nobody would believe you.
We have 200 viewers, but we don't have that many likes on the stream. I think we got to fix that.
Well, let's get some likes, guys. Go like that. It's okay.
Yeah,
well, we'd love it if you liked it.
The like button, but I think if you perused it and thought about it and hit the like button, it'd be really helpful. Lets YouTube know we're doing good. And last time I checked, it's free for you to click that.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
You guys ready for another giveaway?
Oh boy,
we got 200, so we got to keep giving stuff away.
We got to keep giving it away. It's the Christmas spirit,
It is Christmas, Hanukkah. Hanukkah started a couple days ago.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. This one pissed off a lot of people, and we still feel it today, but I'm going to ask it. Here we go. What is the name of the United Nations treaty that classified cannabis as a controlled substance in 1961? And we need the full name. It's kind of long. What is the name of the United Nations treaty that classified cannabis as a controlled substance in 1961?
And this is not the Controlled Substance Act. That was a...
Right. While they're ruminating on that, we got a quick question from Chad Westport. Favorite Grateful Dead song?
Favorite Grateful Dead song? I would have to say, that's such a tough one. I like so many different Grateful Dead songs. But if there was one, no.
Okay, you got one.
I absolutely have one, and it's a song called "So Many Roads." It's entitled "So Many Roads," and it's one of Jerry Garcia's songs where it's about sadness and depression and being alone, and you could just hear the emotion in Jerry's voice. I like the Soldier Field version of "So Many Roads." It was recorded in 1995.
Nice.
The last time they played at Soldier Field. But there's so many songs that I like from the Grateful Dead and from Jerry Garcia and Jerry Garcia band. Ruben and Charisse, that's another great song. There's I got a gazillion songs that I like, but
do you have the other part is do you have a favorite set? Is there a set from any date that you feel particularly about? I know you mentioned one to me before that was you thought was
there's so many.
Yeah.
But I mean I like all the Europe 72. All everything from Europe 72 was amazing. I mean, and then Oakland, the shows that I went to are the ones that resonate the most with me. And
yeah.
I have a hard drive that has every recording from a whole bunch of different DAT and other things, but recordings from the Dead and the Coliseum in Oakland in the early 90s was pretty amazing. And then also in Portland in 90, oh God, I'm high right now. I think it was 92, 93.
Nice.
At the Fairway.
Did people do, I know
Portland
with Metallica, there was a big community of cassette swapping from live shows. Was that a thing with the Dead too? People
that's where
trading
it came
the
from,
music?
The Dead.
Was that where they came
that's
from?
That's where it evolved from, was the Dead. The cassettes were the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
With sharing mixtapes.
Right. And
So-
Metallica like promoted it too, you know, and then Napster came around and they put a kibosh to
Yeah.
that. So.
Seriously.
All right, I think we have a winner. Wow, we have a repeat winner, which I guess we didn't say they couldn't. We have 666 Productions. He won the book. The answer was The Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs.
So you guys need to have a laptop and another laptop so that you can actually chat GPT at the same time.
You
the
got to be
question's
plugged
being
into the
asked.
matrix.
Good job.
Like, you know. Yeah, nice. I think he's getting he or she is getting some seeds and a book. So,
Yeah.
you know, people are making out like bandits today. So,
Well, yeah. The next question is going to be for new winners only.
okay.
But yeah, diving into the Grateful Dead. Let's talk about the Grateful Dead some more and the importance of the Grateful Dead. Bud
Yeah.
E. Kilowatt. He's a good friend. We went
Shout
to
out,
Dead and
Bud.
yeah, shout out Bud. If you're still watching, man, it's great to know you and have you as a friend, man. It's like we did some Dead and Company together, and he's been, I think he went over to 500 Dead shows, and a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot more.
500?
500, I believe. Yeah, and I think
Wow.
he's over like over the 100, maybe over the 200 mark with Dead and Company, and it's such a big part of our lives. But the Grateful Dead is kind of the origin or part of the origin story of a lot of us in the cannabis industry and cannabis in general to where it is today. I mean, the Grateful Dead touched so many lives and made such a difference in music in general. You know, these vibrations, and they work really well with cannabis.
Right.
So, I mean, San Francisco Giants, there's influence on the San Francisco Giants, Lagunitas Brewery. You look at Tony McGee. We're going to get Jeremy Marshall on here one of these days. If you know Jeremy, tell him we're ready for him to be on the podcast.
Come on, Jeremy.
But yeah, the Grateful Dead, they just touched so many lives, and music is, it's such an important part of my life. And
Bud said he's at 535 now.
C 535, yeah,
That's
crushing.
amazing.
And and I feel like the Grateful Dead is just it's positive energy, and at the end of the day, you can break it down to being a positive form of energy that makes the world a better place. And that's kind of what we're doing here. We talk about cannabis and we break it all down, and what cannabis is to me is something that makes the world a better place. And I want to be part of that.
Absolutely.
I feel like
Unites
we're
us.
we're united in the sense that cannabis unites us all. It doesn't matter what you look like, what you believe in, what side of the map you're on politically, but with cannabis, it can unite us all and bring us all together, and it makes the world a better place. It makes people feel better. I feel like it's naturally part of our bodies. We have these receptors that are made for it. Well, there has to be a reason we have these receptors.
Yeah. I was thinking that last night, actually. It's like, why cannabis? Like, why is that the plant that resonates with us when there's so many other plants out there?
Yeah.
Like,
well, we evolved with
interesting.
cannabis, for a long, long time.
Right. I got another question from Buddy Kilowatt, so this kind of works out with the timing.
Yeah.
And I just lost it. Oh, there it is. When are you going to put out a list of restaurants in the Bay Area with the best food?
That is a great question. That's a trivia question, actually. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I think we're eventually going to do a show. I would love to do a show where we smoke and have different guests on and go around to try different food in the Bay Area or different food all over. I'd love to come.
That's our second show.
We need to get out of San Diego. Well, actually, you know what? Since we're talking about our second show, I'm going to give you guys a little sneak preview into what we're going to be doing next year. We're going to be doing a couple documentary-style shows here in the studio and maybe some interviews across the sea via Zoom. But we're going to be doing some documentary-style videos for YouTube on cat piss, on sour diesel, on OG Kush, and maybe something else, and we'll talk about that later.
Nice.
But I feel like those origin kind of stories and getting interviews from the people before they're gone, I think that would be great. Because, there's so many great stories. I've been researching cat piss my whole life since I got to smoke it. And, it's really exciting.
Yeah. Brandon's saying we need a mukbang where you eat on camera. So we ought to just follow you around to different restaurants and get your take.
Well, I go to restaurants anyway, so we might as well pair it together.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, we got another one. I don't think we got the name on this. But do you suggest using carbs and enzymes during the final flush?
You know what? When we talk about enzymes, how important are enzymes and carbs and stuff like that? I don't recommend using those. I think there are some products with magnesium that I've seen that increase combustion when you smoke, so you get a whiter ash. But I think just a straight flush. I mean, I'm all about like making the stuff taste better, but I don't think manipulating it with sugars definitely not what I do personally. I'm more of like the straight flush with water. And then, I'm kind of excited about the stuff I've been smoking lately that has magnesium in the flesh. But yeah, I'm more of a water guy, to be honest.
AL telescope, could be AL telescope. What is the main difference between LED grown flower and HPS flower?
Man, this is a great one because I love this question because it's like, what is better, HPS or LED? And I feel like some plants perform better under HPS and some plants perform better under LED. It's a personal preference. I think the yields have gotten a lot bigger since we started using LED, and also VPD is super important. So once we started concerning ourselves with the vapor pressure deficit, I think that increased the yields especially, and not always for the better. I mean, there's some guys that push the VPD to the extreme. You get a lot more plant material, but there is a nice balance because when I was growing up, if you hit 2 pounds per light on anything, you were a rock star. I mean, also the pounds were worth $4,500 a pound at that time.
Yeah.
And now guys are getting 3.5. I've seen 4. I've even heard guys that work with Josh and Ramsey pushing 5+, which is crazy because that's not where I want to be.
Yeah.
But I think that 3 is a really good sweet spot with the LEDs, but you could probably hit that with HPS now too. But
Yeah.
I pretty much switched over to LED because it's more the price is a lot cheaper for electricity for one thing, so it's more economical.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, and then that's except for my reversal room. So I got a reversal room. I got a 14 light reversal room. We've got tents in there and stuff. And so in the reversal room, I use strictly HPS. I have yet, although I am experimenting with some LEDs that have adjustable spectrum. So we'll see. Maybe we will switch from HPS someday. But as far as I know, HPS is the best spectrum for reversals.
Interesting.
So.
Should we do another giveaway? We still got 200 people watching. I mean, and we're getting down to it. Probably got like 20 minutes left here. So
I mean, I think we should probably. What do you guys think? I guess we should do we should ask the audience if they think we should do another giveaway.
I mean, yeah, they might say, "Nah, we're good.
Right,
We don't want any more stuff."
Yeah.
But yeah, this next one we should do new winners only.
Yeah, I agree. New winners only.
Must live in the U.S. and be 21 years of age. But we're going for new winners. So. Brandon, we're going to need your help on knowing if they're a winner before.
Black Auto Gelato. We're going to give out some auto flowers, guys. So
Black Auto Gelato.
Yeah, so that's our Gelato Auto, and that's times the black strap, which is from Gnome or Automatic Genetics. I think that's their name. But they do really good, like that. Yeah, they have the anvil and the black strap. Really good at breeding in the color and interesting plants. And then I had problems. I decided to go with that because my gelato is really good, but it's not colorful. Now I have color in the gelato line. The next couple generations are going to be really amazing. Generation now is great, but there's still some green and some purple. So
everybody's saying they want us to do a giveaway. So
okay,
I guess we'll just do one.
Let's do it.
All right. What is the main purpose of ruderalis in cannabis breeding? Am I saying that right? I think so.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. What is ruderalis, guys?
What is ruderalis, and what is the purpose of it?
What does it mean? How about, let's talk about what it means.
Hold on. That's the trivia question, though. So they got to see what they say.
Yes. It's kind of a weird question, though.
You think it's too weird?
Yeah, well, I mean,
we can skip it.
Define ruderalis. Yeah, what is ruderalis, guys?
What is ruderalis? Cannabis ruderalis.
Someone's got to have that one right now.
Let's see what people say here. Because
how about what is the autoflower is what ruderalis is.
Autoflower traits.
Autoflower traits. Who said autoflower first? We're just going to give it to
who got autoflower first, because we're giving away an autoflower, so it seemed like it makes sense. that the main purpose of ruderalis is for autoflowering.
Yeah.
I think Kentucky green thumb is the first one. Can I get a confirmation on that?
I see someone that put for autoflowers, and that's Kentucky green thumb.
Kentucky
Yeah,
green
that's
thumb.
it. We're giving
Congrats.
Kentucky green thumb a pack. Ruderalis is autoflower. So, and basically, it's the autoflower trait was found in cannabis ruderalis. But autoflower specifically is a trait, right? So that's something that can be bred in and out.
Nice.
And
Congrats, Kentucky green thumb. What is he winning? He or she?
he wins a pack of blackstrap, 5-pack of blackstrap. Prize bundle. We're going to call it a prize bundle, guys.
That's right. Awesome. Way to go.
Yeah. So
yeah. So let's go back. We got a couple more questions here that we can hit. These questions have been great, guys. Appreciate everybody putting them in the chat. Hopefully you've been enjoying the answers.
So yeah, let me touch on autoflower a little more real quick.
Go for it.
So ruderalis is more of a subspecies, and autoflower is a trait, right? Autoflower is a trait that can be bred in. You can breed in ruderalis to other things, but it's not just if we're talking about autoflower, it's specifically a trait that ruderalis has, and yeah.
Nice.
A lot of good stuff, and basically what that does is it changes it from a photoperiod, which means that under light, as soon as it gets down to 12:12 or under a change in light, that it'll flower, it'll go into flowering. Whereas autoflower, basically, it's a buildup of carbohydrates in the plant, and once it builds up to that point, that triggers it into flowering, and so once it triggers, goes into flowering. Now, what happens if you cross an auto with a photoperiod? You get something called a quick or a fast flowering. And that basically is interesting because autoflower traits are recessive. So it actually isn't an autoflower in the first generation. It has to go back one generation. And so what you do is you get something that flowers faster, that triggers faster, and finishes earlier.
Nice.
AK Spud says from the Russians. And it's basically, I think it's anything over 50 degrees is where autoflowers. So you can get them technically Finland, Norway, Sweden, Russia, maybe even Alaska.
That Eastern European region.
Yeah, the really high up stuff.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know how to pronounce this, but any trustworthy Malawi seeds out there? Asked by Brandon Doing.
Not that I know of.
Not that he knows of. All right.
But if you guys know, maybe you could let us in.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite purple strain? I know you always rally against the purples. So
No. I honestly, I love purple weed too. I love the cantaloupes. I love the Pluto. I like some of the Gelato 33s are real interesting. I like terpy stuff. I guess we'll go with Pluto. We'll say
Pluto.
We'll say some
Nice.
Pluto for the perps.
okay.
But yeah, and there's just so many. Oh, actually, you know what? I changed that. I retract the Pluto,
Oh.
even though I like the Pluto. That Pluto is
Sure.
honorary number one.
Okay.
But yeah, so this new Zootopia stuff that I got to see that SF Ken is putting out was pretty. That's my new favorite.
Nice.
It was candy, sedative, stronger than Skittles. I like Skittles too. Skittles can have a little purple.
Yeah. This one comes from Owl Telescope Uranus again.
Ouch.
Really getting a good look in there. Other than temperature, what destroys terps the most? Outside of temperature.
What outside of temperature?
What destroys terps the most?
So it's interesting because Terp Lock, I know the guys from Terp Lock, we've been talking a lot about why Terp Locks are good and how it works, but like temperature and humidity are super important, and also curing properly. But the thing is like we talk about burping and off-gassing, and what that actually does is that you're off-gassing CO2, right? And it might not seem that important. I like Terp Lock bags now better than these glass jars back here, which is so strange because I never really liked bags. I never really liked, these polyethylene bags. I thought they damaged the weed and you'd get your weed crushed in them. But what the Terp Lock bags allow you to do is to off-gas the CO2. And what happens is there's moisture in the flower, and you have your stomata, and if you have CO2, it'll close that stomata up and shrink that stomata, and by doing that, it keeps the moisture in the plant. So if you have something that can off gas, which is burping, as traditionally we burped in glass, but if you actually have and take it and put it in those terp blocks, the lining of the bag absorbs the CO2, so the moisture can basically go out of the flower to the perfect 51, is it? I'm not sure what the terp block bags hold for humidity, but it's the perfect humidity, and I feel like it's the perfect balance. I was not a believer, to be honest, right in the beginning until I saw proof. I was like, what are these guys doing? They just got a thicker bag. And I think a lot of people think that. But the thing is go buy some terp block bags. Go buy one terp block bag. Put some flour in it in your regular sandwich bag. Put some in a Ziploc bag, in whatever kind of bags. Compare, do a side-by-side. I think those are the best ways to test stuff. Super excited about the side-by-side testings always. I mean, that's how you really get the results, because there's so much snake oil out there, guys. Like, literally everybody's talking about all this stuff that works great, and it's a better, new, improved version of something that we already have that's good. And some of it is great, but a lot of it is trash. Well, 55 to 62% SS GER. There you go.
And Brandon brings up a good point about burping, because you don't need to burp those bags, right? It's actually is. Aren't you supposed to not do that?
What's that?
Burp the bags, because then you're introducing air every time?
No, that's okay.
Or you're still supposed to be burping?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is the air is okay. Burping the bags actually just lets go of the CO2. But yeah, I was off on the humidity. But like, same thing with temperature. Keep your temperature around 60 degrees. I have a room where all my flour is stored that's like 58 degrees. And I keep all my flour there in terp block bags. And terp blocks hold them at 58 to 62%. They're really good. I can't speak highly enough about the product. They don't pay me for anything, although they've given me some bags to test. I just super big fan.
Yeah, I recommend going back and watching that episode with the guy from Terp Block, because it was really interesting insight into the technology.
Oh yeah, Lance, we got to get JJ on. So JJ, big shout out to JJ from Terp Block. We hung out at MJ for a small bit, but I really need him to come on the show so he can explain it, because they're making some new cool stuff too.
Awesome. Yeah, Claude says that his mom said that burping is not polite. So
burping is not polite unless you're burping my weed. Then
okay. Have you come across anything new recently? Any new genetics that have you kind of excited at the moment?
I mean, I think Shiloh brought some Oaxacan that was exciting. You guys get to see in a couple
That's
weeks.
That's going to be a good episode.
Yeah, but I see all kinds of stuff all the time. We talk about fried chicken terps. We talk about, stuff outside the box. That's what gets me really excited. It's like, but I'm also missing some rose water terps. We had some creme rosé Skittles that we lost thanks to Canna Organics. We've lost that. I mean, it's not just, I lost it, they lost it, we lost it. But really good stuff. And I hope to find those terps again. So rosewater terps, you guys see that? That's what I like.
Here's one from Ripping Mean Jeans. When you reverse your autos, how do you pick the donor plant so early? Because he says, or she says, I find something nice late and then try to reverse it, but then it's already too late to reverse it. So,
well, you have to go from what you've reversed. So you have a game plan and you reverse this pile of seeds and you're pollinating these. So you have your donors and your receivers. Your donors, you're separating, you reverse a whole bunch. And what I do is I reverse way more than I need and I cherry pick the best ones. So, and what you're looking for, I mean, it really depends. Are you looking for something that's diverse? Or are you looking for a representation of a specific plant, like your F1 cross that you really liked? Because there's so many different approaches to that. But I would say that you're looking for something that's similar to what you're going for, is as far as if you're inbreeding, you want something that's similar to the female or receiver. But it's super subjective, but usually using a lot of donors and then narrowing it down from those, and the most vigorous ones aren't always the ones I like. I like the ones that are most like what I'm breeding towards, if that makes sense.
Yeah, awesome. That was for Ripping Mean Jeans. Hopefully that's helpful. The AK Spud asked, any suggestion on running your black gelato auto and your soap crossed with ZBX.
Yeah, absolutely. Use water. No, but I think with the autos,
It's got what plants crave.
less is more always with autoflowers. They don't need a ton of water for one thing. Less is more, getting good drybacks with them, especially in the beginning. Autoflowers, especially in the beginning. This goes across the board with all autoflowers. But yeah, and then, when I do seed production, I give them additional nitrogen too, but you don't always need that. That can actually make your buds a little more larvae if you're doing that in your regular cycle. But 20 hours of light on those autos, that's the secret. You're using 24 hours of light. You got a solid nutrient mix. You don't overwater. You make sure your VPD is set. And then which was the other one? It was the Blue Power?
It was Black Gelato Auto with soap crossed with ZBX.
Soap ZBX. That's a good one. Those are, the funny thing is so these are one of our freebies. And it's a freebie, but it's something that we'll probably be selling down the road. I have a lot of them, and I really wanted to get feedback because I think it's a good cross. That soap is something special. It's from JBZ, from Seed Junkie, and the soap is really special. And it's not everyone's favorite, right? But as far as like structure, as far as vigor, as far as a lot of characteristics that I like, it's great. It has it has some amazing traits, and breeding towards those things are what I like doing. And putting some Skittles in there to make it a little more candy, I think couldn't hurt it. So you want to look for the candy phenotypes is what I would go for. Stuff that's a little sweeter. But again, this is all preference. We all, I like sweet, but the next guy might he wants more gas, or he wants more of this, or
right.
The potential's there for whatever you want. Yeah.
It looks like we have a little bit of controversy here in the chat because Seat Sniffer, that one, is from Norway. So,
Seat Sniffer. Did he win multiple times?
But shout out to Norway, the beautiful place.
Big shout out to Norway.
I mean, you win every day when you wake up. So,
if you find me at Spanibus, I will honor your prize. So that means you got to go to Spanibus in March, 14th and 15th and 16th. 14th, 15th, and 16th of March, Barcelona, Spain. I will be there. I'll have either my booth or I'll be with Greenhouse or whatever. But come check us out. And if you want any one of the prizes, it's from before today. So we're not trying to get people to.
Oh wait, the Seat Sniffer won. Did they win They might have won the book. So that you'd probably be.
Well, they can come pick it up at Spanibus.
Okay, there you go. We'll come pick it up at Spanibus. Sorry, Seat Sniffer. Thanks for your honesty there, but yeah, it's got to be U.S. because of our shipping. Yeah,
keep sniffing seeds.
So we're gonna have to go back. We'll have to dig through chat and figure out who the winner was. Sorry, we're not gonna be able to shout you out because I just don't have time to scroll back up. But yeah, I think we got a few more minutes left here. Do we want to give away the Santa hat?
Dude, you guys ready for some Santa hat giveaways?
Who wants the Santa hat? I think this is gonna be the real. This is the real collector's item. The gift that keeps on giving, literally, because then you're Santa. One of one.
One of one.
Santa hat.
I don't know how my hair looks underneath, but.
Yeah, maybe put the hat back on. I'm just kidding. So we got, let's see, we got this one. This one could be easy. This one's probably really easy. So we're gonna make it easy for the Santa hat giveaway. What is the term for the cannabis plant's hair-like structures that contain cannabinoids and terpenes?
You guys got to know this one.
You got to know this one. What is the term for the cannabis plant's hair-like structures that contains its cannabinoids and terpenes? Let's see what they say. We need the Jeopardy song.
Does the hat come filled with beans? I mean, lima beans. No, it does not come filled with beans. It's a giveaway. But that was a good question.
We got to have the hat.
It absolutely will have a prize bundle inside.
Have you seen that?
But it will not come with a.
Have you seen that drinking game where you can put the hat on the corner of your TV, and whenever someone backs up and wears it, you're supposed to take a shot?
No, that's hilarious. We got some answers that are correct. I know. Oh wow.
I think Chad Westport. See the first one? I mean, Chad coming in clutch there.
Where's Chad? Did he write trichomes? So someone wrote pistils. Yeah, it looks like Chad.
The answer would be
first he wrote stigmas, Chad. It's not stigmas.
It's the trichomes.
It's the trikes.
Yep. Trikes.
Yeah, we got the trichomes. Chad Westport looks like it is. And
Awesome.
Chad's been with me from the beginning, man. I really appreciate you, Chad. Future Cannabis Project, we started there. You got the hat. It'll actually work out perfect. Man.
Telescope Uranus was right there too, but yeah, Chad was the first one I saw.
That name is just killing me.
Telescope Uranus. Are they a proctologist or what's the person who does the
I don't know.
the deep camera?
The comedian. I'm guessing a comedian.
Awesome.
So yeah, this has been a lot of fun, guys.
This has been awesome. Fun, guys. Yeah, maybe a mushroom, but yeah, this has been really fun. It was cool to get to do our first live episode. You know, I'm glad everybody tuned in and had fun with it. Hopefully you had fun. And to all the winners, congrats. To all the people who didn't win, there's always next time. But
yeah, we'll do this again.
yeah, awesome. You want
Maybe
to sign
for
up?
Easter, I'll dress up as a bunny.
Get the bunny, get the furry bunny going out here. Awesome. You want to sign us off here, James, and we'll send it to the outro.
Yeah, so we got a real special episode next week. We have Dave and Crockito. We have Crockett and Crockito from Crockett Family Farms, and it's
Not the ones who grow tomatoes in Texas.
not the ones that grow tomatoes in Texas. We have Crockett Family Farms, strawberry, banana, tangy, all that good stuff. We're going into all of it next week. We have specials on our website. Right now, jamesloudgenetics.com. We have our book available for pre-sale. So check us out, man. I hope you guys had a good time here, and I look forward to doing it again real soon.
Make sure you drop a like on the way out, and we'll
Yep.
see you next time.
Cheers.
Thanks, everybody.